Okay, before I show you how to create groups, I think there's value in showing you kind of the finished product first so you can understand why you would want to create groups and how you could use it. So I'm inside our ELO Staff Professional Development course. I'm going to select People, and you'll see that I already have some groups just for demonstration purposes set up inside this course. I can tell by looking at the tabs here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and select Teams for the semester, and I've created 4 groups or 4 teams inside this course: the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, and the Hawks. And if I expand these navigational arrows, it'll show you the names of all the students in that team. You can also designate a group leader. For example, Joe is the group leader of Team Bears, Megan's the group leader of Team Bulls. What does that mean to be a group leader? That group leader has the ability to change the group name, and to be honest, it's more just for you. It's always good to designate a group leader who can take charge of the group, keep whatever the group is working on organized. On the student's end, it doesn't identify to them that they're a group leader. Only you see that. So anyways, now let's take a look at an actual group page. So I'm on Team Bears. I'm going to click the cogwheel, and I'm going to select the Visit Group page. And basically, when you set up groups in Canvas, all you're doing is basically setting up a smaller Canvas subsite. And the only individuals that can see that smaller subsite are you as the instructor and the specific students that you've assigned to that group. Okay? Now, there's 3, 6, 8 main things that show up on a group's smaller subsite. Home is just the home page, and the only thing that's going to show there are announcements that you create. So, speaking of announcements, this is where you have the ability to come in and generate an announcement that is specific just for the students in that group. So you can see here I just created a very basic announcement just to show you what that looks like. Pages. Students in the group have the ability to create their own Canvas pages, and only those students in the group will see that. You have the ability to create a page. For example, I created one called Internal Control Vocabulary, and maybe I'm going to assign this group with the task that on this page I want them to list all of the vocab words related to internal controls and their definitions. And when they're done, I'm going to drag this page into the course as a whole. That way all the students in the course now have a page to review, whether it's for a midterm, a final, on internal control vocab. People is just simply a quick snapshot of who you've assigned to the group. Discussions. Now again, here on the discussions page, you have the ability to create a discussion that only the students in the group can see, or students have the ability to create their own discussion that only students in that group can see. So for example, I created one called Team Internal Control Project Feedback, and I pushed this discussion out to every individual group: Bulls, Bears, Hawks, Cubs. And what I'm going to have students do here is every student has to create an internal control project themselves, not as a group, themselves. But rather than having them create the project, turn it into me when it's due, I'm going to assign targeted checkpoint dates where they post the current work they have in their project to their group's discussion forum. And then their group members are going to offer one another's feedback and critique and constructive criticism. That way the student can go back and make the change to their project before they submit their final assignment to me. Another example on discussions, something else that I used to do in my classes that worked very well, is at the end of every unit we studied. Okay, so say there's 5 units a semester. I would ask the students to create a discussion post reflecting on that unit. What did they learn? What surprised you? What are you still confused on? How can you connect what we learned to your life? And they would make that post on their team's page, and all the members in the group would do the same thing, and then they just react to one another's postings. That's just another quick example of how you could use discussions. Files. Again, you as the instructor have the ability to push out whatever files you want to every individual group. Students in that group have the ability to upload files here as well. Now, one thing I would recommend you do is if you do assign a group project, I would still have your group turn the project in through the normal channels you set up during the course. I wouldn't have them turn it in here. Things just get a little bit confusing that way. Conferences. Again, you have the ability to set up a conference. Students have the ability to set up a conference. So here's one I called Team Bears Check-In Conference, where I'm going to create a conference, a 30-minute conference with every group for whatever reason it might be. And the expectation is that the group is going to attend that conference together to maybe it's go over a project with me, where I offer feedback. Maybe it's present the project to me, whatever it might be. And lastly is collaborations. Again, I have the ability as a teacher to set up collaborations for students. They have the ability in the group to do it themselves as well. So that's just a quick overview on what you can do in Canvas groups. Again, it's just a smaller site that you and the students you assign to a group can control.